Hello. Hello. I'm King Kong. And I'm Godzilla. Welcome to this hopefully audible video of Jenn reading some stories. Or we should say, Jenn, your Fairy TransMother. Right. So anyway, the first story she's going to read is, what is it? Oh, right. It's a story she wrote. Who's talking, by the way? I think I am. No, I am. Anyway, why are we talking like this? I don't know. First, I'll go first. Okay. Right. I'm going to say. All right. The first story she's going to read is an original story she wrote exactly 20 years ago. It says on the back of it, it says, oh, hi, Jessica. Can you hear me? I mean, can you hear us? Let me know. Let us know. Okay. Anyway. We're so funny. Yay, thank you very much. Yeah, the first story is one she wrote for a second grade class 20 years ago. It says on the back that it was... Wait, who's talking again? I think it's me. Alright. That it was written 20 years ago in March. And, it's a wonderful story. Okay, my turn. Yes, and, it's about a ladybug. And it's very interesting that she wrote this. Where did you get that accent from? Where did you get that accent from? I don't know. Anyway, right, what was I saying? Oh, yes. How come your mouth isn't moving? How come yours isn't moving? I don't know. Get out of the way. Anyway, right. Thank you. What was I saying? Right. It's funny that Jenn, your Fairy TransMother, is trans because she wrote this story. That's my voice. Oh. She wrote this story, without knowing she was trans. And it's a wonderful allegory for being trans, or discovering your being trans, or whatever you like, that you are. Okay. Hey, King Kong. Guess what? Chicken butt. Speaking of butts, I have a very cute butt. Yes, you do. Mine isn't so cute because it's just a tail. Anyway, here's Jenn. We'll be back later. Bye. Okay. Hi. It's Jenn the Fairy TransMother. So, this first story, as they said, is one I wrote. And look, it says Joseph Rogers Petro, March 2020. Wrote this for a second grade class. And sometimes you gotta adjust your crown. Looks like it's gonna fall. So, I hope you like it. And by the way, I didn't put any pictures in this book because I wanted my little second graders to draw their own pictures. And if you... Where is the camera anyway? If you... Excuse me, I do not have the virus. That was just a phlegm cough. Which sounded bad. If you or your offspring want to illustrate what I've read, the video will stay posted, so you can draw pictures, play back the video, and then put them in the comments. I'd love to see them. Okay, this is called First Flight, a story of new beginnings by me. Once upon a time, a painter was painting outside near a patch of flowers. Up above, in a tree, there was a nest of soft blue robin eggs. They were very pretty. As the painter painted,
a drop of red paint fell from his brush onto the open palm of a leaf on one of the flowers. The drop began to dry until it hardened. Oh, you remember this story, Lisa? Oh, that's awesome. Former student. Magically, however, it could still move about. One morning, after a soft rain, the drop of red paint found itself in a soft bed of green, surrounded by a great big dew bubble. Rainbows swirled everywhere, running in great whirls of color. She lived inside this bubble. Try that again. I'm not sick. She lived inside this bubble for a long time. She would run all around the leaf. It was a safe place. Fairies, gnomes, water sprites, and other secret friends lived there too. She would play with them for timeless hours. The warm summer days went by like slow ships of clouds. Her mind was alive with wonderful pictures. She loved her home in the bubble and grew quite attached to it. All was well except for one thing. An itch developed under her hard shell of dry paint. The itch tickled her all day. No matter how she tried to scratch it, it would not go away. Because of this itch, she became more and more grumpy. You would too, if you had an itch that never stopped itching. It sometimes even made her cry. One day, a strange thing happened. The little drop of red paint woke up from a dream only to find herself looking right at the surface of the bubble. It must have been quite a shock because she gasped when she saw where she was. The surface of the bubble shined with rainbows. She wanted to touch it. Something told her not to. The next morning, after a restless sleep, she woke up again at the surface of the bubble. Yes, King Kong does have a nice butt. Tim, thank you for watching. The next morning, after a restless sleep, she woke up again at the surface of the bubble. The itch under her shell was still there. She stood looking out at the world beyond the dew bubble. She tried to scratch the itch. She saw a church on a hill far away. She saw sheep grazing like a flock of slow-moving snow. She saw a ball sitting down in the grass. She saw a hawk gliding through the air. Suddenly, a flash of brilliant light dashed across the grass. It disappeared into the woods. What was it? It was bright, like a star, but it also moved like a person. As she stared after it, she began to see her own face reflected in the bubble. Then a question came to her mind, like a bird landing on a branch near your bedroom window. The question was, why am I here? And then another question flew into her head. Why do I look the way I do? And then another question, and another. One by one, they landed on the branches of her mind. Why do I live in a bubble? What is good? What is bad? Why is there air? Is the world outside the bubble a good place? Will it love me? Does anyone love me? As she stared at her reflection, the itch grew worse and worse. The world outside the bubble seemed so big. A little mouse scampered across the grass. A cat jumped out from nowhere and gobbled the mouse up with one gulp. The drop of red paint ran home and cried. The next morning, she again woke up by the surface of the bubble. Without her knowing it, a poet sat down beside the flowers and began to write. Her back still itched. She felt sad and alone. She looked up and noticed the nest of robin's eggs had been destroyed, perhaps by a raccoon. Bits of blue shell lay on the ground like flower petals. Suddenly the light appeared again. It dashed in front of her, and this time it stopped. It seemed to be looking at her. It motioned to her, and the itch in her back grew even itchier. She wanted to follow the light, but she did not want to leave her home on the palm of the leaf. And then, to her surprise, she saw all of the fairies and gnomes and water sprites and all of her secret friends jump into a magic suitcase and slide toward her. Her itch itched so much she could no longer stand it, and then, all at once, shiny yet nearly invisible wings opened from under the itchy spot in her hard, glossy shell. And as they did, their tips touched the bubble, and it burst, sending showers of rainbows everywhere, including on her newly forming wings. At that exact same moment, drops of black ink from the poet's pen fell and splashed on her lovely red shell. She was too excited to care. She stepped out of the place where the bubble used to be. She stood on the edge of the leaf. Her wings throbbed with life. They thirsted for sky. And now she knew why she woke up here every morning. She was supposed to. The flowers above her bowed their heads in praise of her wings. The trees leaned in to shelter her and to watch. The sky spread its great blue dress forever. The poet sang a little song. And she remembered the cat. She remembered the ruined nest. She was scared. Yet she still felt thrumming for flight in her wings, aching for sky. The light was waiting down below. It seemed to smile. It turned and ran into the woods. She thought she heard it laughing. It sounded like water flowing over stones. She couldn't help it. Her wings opened wider and buzzed like a hummingbird. She grabbed the suitcase and she lifted off the leaf. She zoomed towards the woods as if pulled by some invisible thread. A rabbit looked up as she soared past. The poet smiled and nodded his head. And he turned and looked at you, dear reader, listener, as if to ask, where will you go? The end of story number 1. Hope you liked it. And the next one, Godzilla just fell. The next one is one of my all-time favorite books, and I think it's perfect for today's current events. And the author has one of the best names I've ever heard. It's Watty Piper. And the book, thank you, Jessica. I appreciate that. It's The Little Engine That Could. And I love this book so much. And one of the reasons I love it so much is the hero is a heroine, a girl train. And I think that's awesome. So, it's an old favorite. Please bear it in mind that you can do whatever it is you are trying to do. Now, I hope you can see the pictures. This was maybe my fear of using the phone. I think you can see that. So, this is the complete and original edition, by the way. Hi, Amy Lynn. Chug, 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 puff, 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 ding dong, ding dong. The little train rumbled over the tracks. She was a happy little train. The pics are in a mirror image. Ooh, so they're backwards, you mean? Interesting. So I guess I should start maybe with this. Oh, anyway, no. Well, that's not a picture. But... Chug, 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 puff, 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 ding dong, ding dong. The little train rumbled over the tracks. She was a happy little train, for she had such a jolly load to carry. Her cars were filled full of good things for children. There were toy animals, giraffes with long necks, bears with almost no necks at all, and even a baby elephant. And then there were dolls. Dolls with blue eyes and yellow curls, dolls with brown eyes and brown bobbed heads, and the funniest little toy clown you ever saw. I don't know why I'm going to when I show you the pictures. And there were cars full of toy engines, airplanes, tops, jackknives, picture puzzles, books, and every kind of thing a child could want, because toys aren't gendered and you can play whatever the heck you want. With what you want. Oh, did I not show that? I don't remember now. Let me know if I'm leaving the pictures up there long enough for y'all to see. But that was not all. Some of the cars were filled with all sorts of good things for children to eat. Big golden apples, red-cheeked apples, bottles of creamy milk for their breakfasts, or soy milk if you're vegan, fresh spinach for their dinners, peppermint drops and lollipops for after-meal treats. The little train was carrying all these wonderful things to bring to the children on the other side of the mountain. She puffed along merrily, and then all of a sudden, she stopped with a jerk. She simply could not move another inch. She tried and she tried, but her wheels would not turn. What were all those children on the other side of the mountain going to do without the wonderful toys to play with and the good food to eat? "Here comes a shiny new engine," said the funny little clown who jumped out of the train. "Let us ask him to help us." So all the dolls and toys cried out together. "Hi, Christina." So all the all the toys and dolls cried out together, "Please, shiny new engine, won't you please pull our train over the mountain? Our engine has broken down, and the children on the other side won't have any toys to play with or any good food to eat unless you help us." But the shiny new engine snorted. "I pull you. I'm a passenger engine. I have just carried a fine big train over the mountain with more cars than you ever dreamed of. My train had sleeping cars with comfortable berths, a dining car where waiters bring whatever food hungry people want, and the parlor cars in which people sit had soft arm cushions, and they look out big plate glass windows. I pull the likes of you? Indeed not." Probably a Republican train. Sorry. And off he steamed to the roundhouse, where engines live when they are not busy. How sad the little train and all the dolls and toys felt. But then the little clown called out, "The passenger engine is not the only one in the world." The only train in the world, that is. "Here comes another engine, a great big strong one. Let us ask him to help us." "Boo you, Timothy." The little toy clown waved his flag, and the big strong engine came to a stop. "Please, oh please, big engine," called the dolls and toys together. "Won't you please pull our train over the mountain? Our engine has broken down." Hi, Abigail. "Our engine has broken down, and the good children on the other side of the mountain won't have any toys to play with or good food to eat unless you help us." You know why I'm whistling? But the big, strong engine bellowed, "I am a freight engine, sorry. I have just pulled a big train loaded with big machines over the mountain. These machines print books and newspapers for grown-ups to read. I am a very important engine indeed, and I won't pull the likes of you." Must be another Republican engine. And the freight engine puffed off indignantly to the roundhouse. The little train and all the dolls and toys were very sad. "Cheer up," cried the little toy clown. "The freight engine is not the only one in the world. Here comes another. He looks very old and tired, but our train is so little, perhaps he can help us." So the little toy clown waved his flag, and the dingy, rusty old engine stopped. "Please, kind engine," cried all the dolls and toys together, "won't you please pull our train over the mountain? Our engine has broken down, and the boys and girls on the other side—" Oh, I said boys and girls. Ah! "The children on the other side," these are non-binary people, or whatever. Anyway, "and the children on the other side won't have any toys to play with or good food to eat unless you help us." But the rusty old engine sighed. "I am so tired. I must rest my weary wheels. I cannot pull even so little train as yours over the mountain. I cannot. I cannot. I cannot." Oh, you were booing like booing. I see, Timothy, I get it. I thought you were saying boo. Like boo, peekaboo. Anyway. And off he rumbled to the roundhouse, chugging, I cannot, I cannot, I cannot. Then indeed the little train was very, very sad, and the dolls and toys were ready to cry. Hi, Ron. We haven't met yet, but anyway, hello. But the little clown called out, Here's another engine coming, a little blue engine, a very little one, but maybe she will help us. The very little engine came chugging merrily along, and when she saw the toy clown's flag, she stopped quickly. Those of you who don't know this story, do you think she'll be able to help? What is the matter, my friends? She asked kindly. Oh, little blue engine, cried the dolls and toys. Will you pull us over the mountain? Our engine has broken down, and the children on the other side won't have any toys to play with or good food to eat unless you help us. Please, please help us, little blue engine. I'm not very big, said the little blue engine. They use me only for switching trains in the yard. I have never been over the mountain. But we must get over the mountain before the children awake, said the dolls and the toys. The very little engine looked up and saw the tears in the doll's eyes. She thought of the good little children on the other side of the mountain who would not have any toys or good food unless she helped. Sorry. Then she said, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can. And she hitched herself to the little train. She tugged and pulled and pulled and tugged, and slowly, slowly they started off. The toy clown jumped aboard, and all the dolls and the toy animals began to smile and cheer. Puff, puff, chug, chug went the little blue engine. I think I can, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can. I think I can, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can. And up, up and up, faster and faster and faster and faster the little engine climbed, until at last they reached the top of the mountain, and down in the valley lay the city. Hooray! Cried the funny little clown and all the dolls and toys. The children in the city will be happy because you helped us, kind little blue engine. And the little blue engine smiled and seemed to say as she puffed steadily down the mountain, I thought I could, 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 I thought I could. And that is the end of our second and final story of this edition of Jenn the Fairy TransMother reading stories.